I'm so unbelievably tired. Whoa. Yeah, I'm pretty wiped out right now. But we're gonna do it anyways. Alright, let's go. What's up everybody, D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla vs. Kong news and updates. Today's a weird one, fellas. Dr. Emmett Brown has shown up with his DeLorean. It's time to go back to the past. For you, this is just a mere blip, a mere step in the way along our journey through Godzilla vs. Kong news and updates, but to me, this is a wild trip back into the past. I'm heading back to February of 2021. This is after I've been working on videos from like May to August. The only reason I'm taking a step back to the past at the moment is because the next video I have to work on, I have to watch a 30-minute Japanese featurette first, and it's like, I don't have the time for that at the moment, so let's jump back in time where I don't have to do as much work. Starting out with an extreme controversy, something that I've never been able to get over, and honestly, I genuinely think this is disgusting. I think this is a horrible thing. Wendy's, leading into Godzilla vs. Kong, tweeted that they were Team Godzilla. I just don't know how I could support a company that does something that downright disgusting, embarrassing even. They're rooting for like an aggressive bully murderer, a child murderer, somebody who would blow up someone else's house just cuz. I just don't know how Wendy's can come back from this, to be honest with you, and I feel like they should issue a public apology. It's been years, guys. You've had years to apologize. And if I need to be the one to call them out, I guess I'll be the one to call them out. Cancel Wendy's is what I'm saying. Cancel. Wendy's should be canceled. That's disgusting. For the rest of you Team Godzilla-ers out there, I think you should do a lot of self-reflecting, to be honest. Daz Tibble did some Godzilla vs. Kong art. I totally said his name wrong, but we're just gonna keep going. He did some Godzilla vs. Kong art. I love it. I love the art style. He's got a really great use of color. I love the actual like images of Godzilla and Kong. They look incredible. And then he put them side by side into an awesome poster where they're both together. So freaking cool. I love it. Boss Logic released some Godzilla vs. Kong poster mock-ups as well. The first one is Godzilla. The second one is Kong. It's just so weird to me seeing the Godzilla image in red, considering he will later re-release this image in blue, and then the blue image would go on to become my phone background. So it's just super weird seeing it in red. It's like a cursed image here, but it looks incredible. I love it. I love this art. I think it's so cool. I mean, it is just, he just took the models from Godzilla and Kong. Like, this is Godzilla on the aircraft carrier, and that's Kong from the poster for Godzilla vs. Kong. It's not like he drew them, but it's still a pretty cool Photoshop nonetheless. I've got a clip of Shun Oguri talking about Godzilla vs. Kong. Unfortunately, I don't have the link for this, but you can check out the clip here. He is wishing us a happy spring festival, and then he is saying that we are not ready for Godzilla vs. Kong. To be honest, man, I have no idea who's gonna win. The movie comes out in March, and we're talking about February. So, like, who's to say, really? It's still in the future, right? Right? To celebrate Chinese New Year, or Lunar New Year as I'm used to calling it, there was a Chinese little promotional video of a couple Godzilla vs. Kong chibi like emojis basically doing these little Chinese New Year's festival dance things. Pretty cute, these cute little animations just to celebrate the Lunar New Year, and I've got a link to that down below. There were some children's tees released for Godzilla vs. Kong, a Team Godzilla and a Team Kong shirt. I think they're very cute. Along with that was a Happy Valentine's Day shirt, which is super adorable. So that's actually my favorite of this little bunch, but super cute stuff featuring these chibi little designs. Monogram released the Godzilla vs. Kong line as well. Now these were these little blind bag figures that you could get, so it was all sorts of little guys. They're kind of a rubbery material. Pretty cool. They're like, I believe they were like $10 or something like that on the FYE website. They were a lot of fun. I got a couple of them myself. Playmates revealed the Battle Roaring Godzilla and the Battle Roaring Kong. They overproduced these, for those of you who don't know, so if you've looked at Walmart's or anything, this is probably the figures you've seen, because they mass produced these figures, way overproduced them. So they even did giveaways of these figures, and they just had so many of them. And they're also the only Godzilla vs. Kong figures I tend to still see on the shelves. I believe they've moved to Targets now. They're no longer being sold at Walmart's from what I can tell, at least near me. But yeah, very funny that this is definitely the ones that I've seen the most. This was also the only ones that they sent me as a sponsored video. So thank you for that, Playmates. There's a Bandai Spirits Ichiban Show Godzilla 2021. It looks incredible. reveal. This is just such a cool model. It cost about $75 when it came out. I have no idea how much it is now, but it's got great detailing and it looks fantastic. Leading into Godzilla vs. Kong, the MonsterVerse released a series of tie-in books. We got the release dates for those. On March 30th, Godzilla Dominion, Kingdom Kong, and Kong and Me came out. On April 6th, Sometimes Friends Fight came out. That one was $10. And then the Godzilla vs. Kong novelization also came out on April 6th. On May 11th, the MonsterVerse Titanthology Volume 1 came out. On May 21st, The Art of Godzilla vs. Kong came out for $40. All of these books, in my opinion, were absolutely wonderful buys. Personally, I was very impressed with the children's books. I thought they were both very well done, and I honestly, if I was going to recommend anything to young Godzilla fans, I would definitely recommend these. And then the novelization I thought was really fantastic, so do check that novelization out if you can. If you're a big Godzilla fan, if you're a hardcore fan, I think it's like kind of necessary reading. We also got the cover reveal for Godzilla vs. Kong One Will Fall, The Art of the Ultimate Battle Royale. Why couldn't it just be called The Art of Godzilla vs. Kong like a lot of the art books? Whatever. It's a cool cover. They really like those cave paintings over there at Legendary. We got cover reveals for Kong and Me, Kingdom Kong teaser reveal image of Kong in the cave. It's weird talking about this stuff after I've already read it. A new Godzilla vs. Kong TV spot came out at this week. It was later revealed to be the home TV spot, but at this point it was called Their Fight Our World. It was the same thing as the home TV spot, which I actually thought was an incredibly well done TV spot. However, it did spoil way too much. So many spoilers in that TV spot that shouldn't have been in there. But I thought it was a very well done TV spot. This was the Twitter version of it, so it was the cropped version with all the text going on and everything. We had teasers for IGN Fan Fest that was going to feature Godzilla vs. Kong with an interview from Adam Wingard. So we have images from that, and then finally IGN Fan Fest happened. We've got clips of it, we've got the interview, and then we got a little clip from the movie. To quickly talk about the clip from the movie, it's the clip of Godzilla. He's being attacked by the fighter jets as he makes his way towards Kong, who is trying to get off that ship. It's when Kong's in chains and Godzilla's headed right for him, and then you don't actually see the two clashing. But yeah, it's a pretty cool clip. I remember at the time this came out, I definitely thought, and it seemed a lot of us thought, that Kong himself was trying to pull that ship out of the water using the chains. I guess we didn't realize that Kong was the one in the chains until this clip was revealed. I mean, we can see it on his arms, but I didn't think those were the chains he was pulling. I thought he was trying to rescue that ship, which I thought was cool. But obviously when this clip released, it became much more apparent that Kong was in a separate set of chains, and then that ship was just being dragged behind Godzilla. But still, I love that clip. I think it's a super cool moment in the movie. It also confirmed, that was when it was confirmed when that came out, that yes, Junkie XL's Godzilla theme was not going to be the Ifukube theme, and people were in big denial saying, oh, it was just a placeholder, or oh, this is just for now, and then in the end of the movie they'll surely play Godzilla's actual real theme. But no, they definitely don't. Anyways, the interview actually held some interesting information, as it was Adam Wingard talking about his plans for Godzilla vs. Kong, what he wanted to do with it, what his hopes for the movie were. In this interview, Wingard says that the future of the MonsterVerse depends on Godzilla vs. Kong. If audiences respond well to it, they will do more. If audiences don't, they probably won't continue. Obviously, the movie did well, and that's why they're continuing. Wingard said he didn't change Godzilla's design despite having the ability to and being encouraged to, because he didn't want this to feel like his Godzilla vs. Kong. He wanted it to feel like the Godzilla vs. Kong. So he had to have the Godzilla be consistent for at least 2 movies. I think that's a really, really strong argument for why Godzilla's design wasn't changed. I also just think the design is freaking perfect. I don't know what you would change on it. His argument was that Batman vs. Superman doesn't really feel like Batman vs. Superman. It doesn't feel like that's the movie we got. It felt like Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman. So it's a totally different thing, which I completely agree with, because that Batman is just not the way the Batman is supposed to be portrayed. He was too different, he was too new, and so it didn't feel right. He says a similar thing about King Kong vs. Godzilla, that King Kong is too radically different from all the other King Kongs, and so it didn't ever feel like the King Kong versus Godzilla. It felt like a King Kong versus Godzilla, which I think is a totally fair argument. He said that his goal for this movie was to treat Godzilla and Kong as characters, so that there was no human story and monster story. There was simply just the story. The characters were either big guys or little guys. Really, really great approach to take. I personally think that's a generally pretty similar approach that Honda took with King Kong vs. Godzilla. It's certainly the approach Honda took with a movie like War of the Gargantuas, and it's something we've seen in King Kong movies since the dawn of Kong. I think that's a really, really great way to play it, and I thought it worked perfectly in the movie. Wingard said he is interested in a prehistoric monster movie with no humans. I mean, he kind of, they're referring to Godzilla. They're saying like a prehistoric Godzilla movie taking place before humanity. He overall says just like a prehistoric monster movie in general interests him. Well, that personally doesn't interest to me. I would just have to see how it's done. I think it sounds really boring, but it could be done well, I guess. People always say it could be done like a nature documentary. What a snoozer. Gosh, that sounds really boring to me. He said that he never wanted Godzilla vs. Kong to be disturbing, but he wanted it to be gooey and gross. So he never felt like he was reining in the violence as a horror director. He was just having a good time doing the movie he was doing. And then finally, he says the transportation sequence into the Hollow Earth, although when he refers to it in the interview, he's being very vague. He says a sequence in the movie. I'm telling you what that sequence was. It's when the character's transport into the Hollow Earth was inspired by tripping on cough medicine. So if you're wondering where they got the visuals from that, I mean, for me, it looks very much like 2001: A Space Odyssey is what inspired it. But I guess he's saying here it was inspired by tripping on cough medicine. Weird. Well, friends and foes, that'll do. I don't know if my foes are watching this video, but I guess they are. Thank you for watching. I want to give a huge thank you to all my patrons on Patreon. Those guys are keeping the channel running, so honestly, huge thank you to them. Please consider supporting the Patreon using the link in the description below. It goes a very long way towards helping the channel and making sure videos like this are still possible. And that'll about do it for this one. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man out.